Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar today titled Cash Flow Management for Small Businesses: Tips and Strategies to Maintain Liquidity. I am Rima Partner, Success Manager at Wafeq. Wafeq is a UAE and Saudi-based company offering accounting software solution certified by both FTA in UAE and Tax and Custom Authority in Saudi Arabia. I'm delighted to be here with you today, along with our guest, Lena. Welcome, Lena. It's a pleasure to have you with us here today.
Hello, Rima. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to present here at your webinar today. And welcome to all of our participants. My name is Lena Barwick. Shall I? Yeah.
I would like to hand the mic over to you to introduce yourself.
My name is Lena Barwick. I'm a founder and the CEO of Bespoke Accounting. I started my career with KPMG back in Moscow. I'm originally from Russia, and then I moved to the UAE in 2013. So I have been living in the UAE for more than 10 years now. When VAT was introduced in 2018, I then started helping small businesses with their VAT obligations. And now Bespoke Accounting offers services from A to Z, from business setup to monthly bookkeeping, financial reporting, outsourced financial management services. And we also now offer recruitment services for accounting and administrative positions.
Yes, thank you, Lena. Lena, sorry for this introduction. Okay, Lena, our objective in today's webinar to provide small businesses owners and financial managers with the practical strategies to manage their cash flow effectively. The participants also will gain insights into the importance of cash flow management for business sustainability, common challenges SMEs facing in maintaining liquidity. We will provide also a proven tips and strategies to improve cash flow, and also the attendees will leave with actionable advice to help them navigate financial challenges and maintain a healthy cash position, ensuring their businesses is well occupied for growth and stability. Before we start, I would like to remind all attendees and to let them know that please feel free to share us your questions, and Lena will be addressing them before the end of the webinar. So Lena, in today's
Sure. Before we continue, I suggest we wait, maybe give participants 1 minute, because I see we started a bit earlier, actually. I wasn't ready that we jump into the topic straight away. Why don't we give 1 minute for the participants, whoever joined us already, to just get a glass of water. I will do the same myself. And we'll allow a few more to join and maybe to think of the questions while they are looking at the topics listed here.
Sure.
I'll just turn off my video quickly, and then I'll join back in 1 minute. Okay?
Sure.
I have my glass of water and I am ready.
Okay, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, in today's webinar, Lena, we're gonna take the discussion through main topics. The first topic is we're gonna talk about understanding cash flow and importance for SMEs. The second topic will be common cash flow challenges faced by small businesses. The third topic, proven tips and strategies to maintain liquidity. The fourth topic, tools and best practices for cash flow management. The fifth topic will be preparing for the future financial challenges for businesses.
Great.
Okay. So we will start with the first topic, Lena. It's about understanding cash flow and its importance for SMEs. Lena, what is cash flow and why it is critical for small businesses?
Cash flow refers to the movement of money either in the bank or in petty cash if you operate with petty cash. So usually when we talk about money coming into the business, we refer to it as cash inflows. And when we make payments for services or goods, we refer to it as cash outflows. Of course, it's not only payments on goods or services. We also have flows within financial obligations, investing activities, etc., etc. So basically, incomings is cash inflows and outgoings is cash outflow.
Yes. Thank you, Lena, for answering this question. Okay, Lena, can you tell us more about the key differences between cash flow and profits?
That's a very good question and very important point to understand for all finance professionals and business owners. And that is one of the most popular questions that I get from our clients. So the question is, looks like on the paper, on the reports that you sent us, our profit is profitable, but we don't have money in our bank. So how come we are profitable? So, and that leads us to understanding the difference between cash flow and profit.
Yes.
Cash is what we have in the bank. Profit is the surplus that we have from after deducting from our revenues or whatever we invoice to our clients, our expenses. Expenses for operations, administrative expenses, cost of sale, payroll, salary, etc., etc. It is very important to stay cash positive, and it also is important to understand that there are differences. It's not the same thing when we talk about cash and profit.
And profits. Yes, yes. Thank you, Lena, for answering this question. Okay, moving forward, Lena, how poor cash flow management can be threaten business sustainability?
Inability to manage your cash flow can impact all sorts of areas of your business.
Yes.
And I'm sure everyone understands that, and it is inability to pay your suppliers, your vendors, inability to make salary payments on time, inability to pay for your rent on time, which would also lead to trust in you or of your suppliers, vendors, bad morale in your team if you constantly delay salaries. Poor cash flow management can lead to a business being unsustainable, meaning that you are not able to meet your obligations in the future.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Lena, for answering and for clarifying this question. Okay, Lena, now we will move together to topic two. And I would like, before we start, I would like to remind all attendees that please feel free to share us your questions in the Q&A box. Okay, so topic two, Lena, we're going to talk about common cash flow challenges faced by small businesses. Uh, um, Lena, can you tell us more about late payments from customers and their impact on liquidity and business liquidity?
Uh, Late payments is one of the main reasons for cash flows being not positive. It is very common that we provide service, we sell goods, and then we wait and wait and wait for our customers to pay us on time. Of course, that means that everyone understands that it means that we are unable to pay for our operational expenses. We can't cover our immediate bills that we have to pay, and that can lead to late payments to suppliers, loss of trust in suppliers, late salary payments, and all of that we discussed before. And so businesses should be proactive in managing their payments from the customers, and accountants would call it in managing accounts receivable. So accounts receivable should be, you should work on them so they're down, and so they're going down. They become smaller and smaller. And we'll talk later about how we can do that. But just kind of thinking ahead is that, of course, we need to be proactive, as I said, with our customers, but also proactive is in how we communicate and how we are sending our invoices to our customers. So it's not surprise the customer is already ready to pay for your services, basically at the same time when you provide the service or the goods, no later than that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Lena. Okay, Lena, high fixed costs and operational expenses.
There is another challenge, high
Yeah.
fixed cost. When we talk about costs, and so costs can be
Mm-hmm.
fixed and variable, as you all know. And the problem with fixed costs is that they're fixed. They don't go up and down with our revenues. So for example, in summertime, our revenues can go down. But if you signed up for a very expensive, very nice office somewhere in DFC, that rent will stay with us. That cost will stay with us, and no matter what, we'll have to pay for it. And as all of you know, we have checks. So rent is paid in the UAE by checks. So the check will be there, and if the check is bounced, there are certain implications. So we have to avoid that. Therefore, we have to review regularly our fixed costs and work with your finance team and with your operational team on how we can utilize, or how we can make fixed costs as small as possible.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Lena. Okay, moving forward with this topic about the challenges. Season, can you tell us more about the seasonality and its effect on cash flow cycle and how it could be a challenge?
Seasonality can have a positive and negative effect on cash flow cycles. With Christmas in December, Ramadan is approaching.
Yeah.
This all would impact our revenue for some of the businesses that are engaged in, for example, B2C sector. So your revenue, your cash inflows, hopefully will go up, for example, in Ramadan. However, when we go into summer, again, if you work in B2C segment, most likely that that time of the year that it impacts your cash flows a lot. in summertime, families tend to leave from the UE, from GCC, and meaning that your revenue will go down and also your cash inflows will go down. Now, depending on whether you have high fixed costs or not, your cash outflows may remain the same. So
Yes.
businesses need to think ahead about such changes in cash flows and predict what they can do and prepare themselves for it. I hear a lot that people say Dubai doesn't have seasons, but if we think about business environment, we do have a very distinguished summertime, and that impacts a lot of businesses. Probably 50% of our clients who are small and medium-sized businesses, they experience certain changes, and with time, with their experience, they learn how to prepare for those fluctuations. And I advise to all of our attendees, if they're business owners, also to think ahead, and need to start thinking about it now in February.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Lena, for answering this question and for your insightful information as well. Okay. Lena, in this topic as well, we're going to talk about the strategies to overcome challenges, and we would like to hear from you an introduction about corporate tax and how it could be a challenge as well for businesses.
Yes, so it's very important, very important question, and it's very important to think about how we can overcome and how we can prepare for those challenges. Here we have, I see we highlighted it as a corporate tax, something new was introduced. So everyone needs to prepare for that challenge. But just to touch on that, why we decided to outline it and put it out there separately is because corporate tax, not everyone is everyone is aware of that, but not everyone, what I have from my experience, is aware that actually for cash flow, it might be a challenge also if you don't think and then you don't look at your reports. Yeah, what you can, there are a lot of provisions in the corporate tax law that you can utilize, and you have to be aware of. And if you're not sure, you need to speak to your tax consultant. For example, tax losses, not everyone is aware. Everyone knows about small business relief, but not everyone knows that if you go with small business relief, then we cannot utilize tax losses in the future, for example, if we do have them. So things like that we need to think about. Now, if we think about the strategies, and I know we'll have another topic. Next topic is we'll do a deep dive on each one, how and what kind of tips we can have on managing cash flow. So now, as a strategy, I probably would say that reviewing regularly your cash flow and be a friend to your accountant and to your finance team. You need to become friends with them. You need to have a dialogue. You need to meet regularly, and you need to make sure that you understand each other, because that is a big challenge. That finance team is doing their own thing, management team is doing their own thing, and if they don't meet and talk, that can lead to a problem. So I think for this topic 2, strategy is to review regularly together with your team, together with your finance team, because not every business owner has tax compliance as their main skill set. Yeah, especially that now so many tax regulations we introduced recently, and
Correct.
IFRS also, how we account for certain things. Is it a deferred revenue or we accrue for that revenue in the month? So yeah, yes, you need to review together with your team, collaborate with your team, with your finance team.
Great, great. Thank you, Lena. Okay. Before we start with the third topic, I would like to remind again all attendees that please share us your questions in the Q&A box. Uh, and before the end of webinar, we will be addressing them with Lena. Okay, Lena, now we are reaching our third topic here in today's webinar. We will be talking about proven tips and strategies to maintain liquidity. Okay, Lena, how to create a cash flow forecast and why it's essential for businesses.
Cash flow forecast helps us to forecast, to foresee, to predict what is going to happen with our cash. People say cash is king, and it is true. If we don't have, unfortunately, if you don't have the money, we don't have business. Yes, we can go on with certain credit limits, etc., but there will be points when we actually do need cash. And in order to have that, we need to create cash flow forecasts. How to create cash flow forecasts? If you don't yet have any accounting software, or accounting software like Wafeq, cloud accounting software, which allows to have different users, which allows to download reports into PDF or Excel to do some other calculations, then it's a big challenge because cash flow forecast needs to be prepared based on certain data. Yeah, so how we prepare cash flow forecasts. If we were in the business for a certain period of time, we start by looking at our data and adjusting it for certain, making certain adjustments. Yes, so we start with revenue. Okay, so we work with our sales team. What our sales target for the year? Usually we start with the year, then we break it down by quarters, and then we break it down by months. I love this exercise. I think it's great. As a business owner, you should all love this exercise because it helps us think and help about the future and help us dream where we want to go with our business. So we start with sales. Then, if you are in goods business, if you have on your new reports cost of goods sold, then you should link how much you make revenue, how much you make sales. You should link with cost of those sales that you make. So depending on how much items, for example, you will sell, that will allow you to put some figures into cost of those goods. How much do you pay for those goods to purchase them in order then to sell? Now, if you're on services, you will then move on to your administrative operational expenses. Payroll. Are you planning to increase your salaries for your team? Are you planning to give out bonuses at the end? Yes, if we put a big sales target, then maybe we can allocate some bonus. Then we need to think about gratuity. Does your staff, any of your staff will qualify at a certain point for gratuity? Yes, if they work more than a year. Rent. Will the rent go up? Have you negotiated the rent? Are you taking on a new warehouse? Then, so over here, we are doing a cash flow forecast. Yes, so when we are not thinking in terms of profit and loss, so we need to think of also VAT payments. We collected revenues, we collected fees for our invoices inclusive of VAT, if we are VAT registrants. Then, following that quarter, in the next month until the 28th, we need to make that VAT payment. So we also need to put it in there, take 5% of. So as you can see, it's quite a technical exercise. It is possible to do it in Excel, but still you need to have data. You need to have data, and you need to have your books properly done, etc., so that you have a basis, solid basis as a foundation for your exercise. And that is where Wafeq and other accounting software softwares come in, that you can go to reports section and you can see cash flow. You can build on that cash flow forecast already. You can have a look at your profit and loss, whether you're profitable or not. You can have a look at your balance sheet to see whether you have any balances to pay to your suppliers, and so on. So technology, we need to utilize technology.
Correct. Thank you, Lena. Okay. Lena, in this topic also, I have a question that how can we manage account receivables and payables efficiently? How can business manage them?
Managing accounts receivable and payable is probably one of the first steps to make sure that you manage your cash flow efficiently. So with accounts receivable, what we are trying to do, and that probably will sound very very bad for some of you, but as businesses, what we are trying to do is it's like a game, pull and pull, push and pull. So with accounts receivable, we are trying to collect them as quickly as possible, and with the accounts payable, we're trying to delay them as quickly as possible. Now it's up to you how you can manage that efficiently. Let's start with accounts receivable. Actually, by the end of this webinar, so I prepared a little checklist, a cash flow health checklist, where very easy to use, where you can assess whether you have a healthy cash flow monitoring system in place or not, by just answering and making sure. And this is what we are discussing here also. But so with accounts receivable, we need to think about the whole process, how we work with our customers. Do we have in our agreements with the customers that we collect deposits, for example, upfront? For example, if you are in project service business, you create, for example, content or campaign for your customer. Do you have a new agreement paragraph where you say that you collect certain deposit upfront? Do you have a new agreement payment terms? Do you then do you in your company as a practice, do you send pro forma invoices to your customers, or estimates or quotations? Different accounting softwares call them differently, but that is basically when we a formal way of asking for the money. Do you send your invoice? For example, you completed half of the project. Do you send your invoice then? When you completed your project, do you send your invoice straight away, or you take time to prepare it? Then look at your invoice. Does it have all payment terms clearly written on it? Sometimes certain things, important things, we need to repeat in several places twice or even 3 times. Does your invoice have, does your pro forma and invoice and agreement have payment terms, payable by certain due date? Yes. And very, very common sense, but not everyone has it. Does your invoice have actually your bank details? Does your customer know where to pay, to which bank account they pay? Do you ask your customer to add your bank account details to their bank to be able to send the payment immediately? All of the banks require, for businesses, require cooling period, which can be up to 24 hours. So imagine you completed the work you sent, and then they say, well, we added you to as a beneficiary once, and they added it, then it will be another 2 days when they remember to process the payment. Yes, so I think these are quite, this is the tips that definitely everyone should look into with regards to accounts receivable. Now, when we talk about payables, now in this one, you need to have a good communication, good channel with your suppliers. Because over here, you want to delay as much as possible. Delay again, of course, to a certain limit, yeah. But it all should be done in a nice way, open communication. You should have a good relationship with your suppliers. I think
Correct. Correct.
all my thoughts on
Thank you,
that.
Lena. Thank you so much, Lena, for your insightful answers for this question. Okay. Lena, in this topic as well, um, building a cash reserve for unforeseen expenses.
That is a very good point to consider, and not many businesses do that. A
Yes.
lot of bank accounts, even a lot of banks allow to open savings account. VO bank calls it savings space. So definitely reserves have to be made actually made in the bank. This is what I suggest to our clients. And of course, reserves need to be accrued in the account in the books. So one of the most important, what reserves you can build. First of all, if you're registered for VAT, of course, it is your VAT payment reserve. VAT is 5% in the UAE. So for when the month is finished, so now we're at the beginning of February, you can look back at your January sales, and you can see how much. Take 5% of that. That will be your. Of course, now I'm simplifying. If you make an export sales, but if you are roughly, if you're making sales within the UAE, take 5% of that and transfer that rough amount to VAT savings account, and do that. And then you see, so if you think that your sales are pretty much the same, then just put a automatic transfer to your that reserve of that amount, so that it goes there automatically without you having to do any extra action. Another reserve that, of course, you have to do is for gratuity. If you have employees in the UAE, if they then they will be, after completing 1 year, they will qualify for a gratuity payment. Now there is a formula how to calculate it. Longer, basically, they work, more they are entitled to. Speak with your finance team, and or just research, very easy. And now labor law can be easily found on internet, law of 2021, and you will see the calculation very easy. Also, there is a lot of calculators available. Calculate what do you think it will be the amount, and just transfer small amounts. Then bonuses, do you pay at the end of the year to your employees or to yourself? Then also divide that amount by 12 and start transferring every month that amount every month. What else? And any other big payments like trade license. Every year or every 2 years, depending on in which free zone, which package you have to renew your trade license. And everyone knows it's not it's not easy to do. Yeah, we go on we have this. Oh my God, 20,000. So, but if you have that in the savings, in the reserve, then it's easy. It's just a matter of transferring the money.
Correct. Thank you, Lena. Okay. Lena, here we have about we're going to talk about leveraging technology to smooth cash flow monitoring and reporting. Can you tell us more? Yeah.
Sure. Leveraging technology is a must-do exercise in nowadays. Now with AI agents overtaking our digital, not only AI but AI agents. Of
Yes.
course, it's the minimum. What we can do is for accounting, for managing our cash flows, to use accounting software. Subscriptions to the software is so minimal compared to the benefits that businesses get. Wafeq, since we are talking, since we are here by Wafeq,
Yeah.
as many other accounting softwares, offers. You can create invoices in Wafeq and send from the accounting software. You don't have to, every time you have a client and every month you sit down and create this Word document and then where did I save it? It's already in the past. You cannot do that. It's so easy to use accounting software. They are built for business owners, not for accountants. When I was starting my career, the accounting software were like only debit credit. You had to know debit credits. Nowadays, this Wafeq is very user friendly. There is a button, create new invoice, and you don't have to think which ledger account you have to use.
Correct.
Also, softwares allows us to pull the reports at your convenience. You don't have to, make it a morning exercise where you sit down, find all your PDF files or Word files with your invoices, and then combine them all together, get your calculator, Excel, and it's much, and it should be much easier exercise. You can see all the reports. You can see cash flow reports with cash movements in Wafeq and other accounting software. You can have a look, you can see profit and loss, you can see balance sheet, you can create invoices instantly and send it to your customer. Wafeq integrates the only software that integrates directly with VO Bank both ways. So you can, from Wafeq, pay for your bills from Wafeq. You don't actually have to log into your bank account. So if you have VO Bank, definitely you should explore Wafeq. Yeah, I think we covered.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
the
so much,
topic.
Lena, and thank you for mentioning Wafeq here as well. Thank you. Okay, Lena, moving forward to our fourth topic, we're gonna talk about tools and best practices for cash flow management. Um, Lena, can you give us an overview of cash flow management tools available to SMEs today?
First of all, of course, it's accounting software. Again, we just talked about it, so I won't repeat. I thought about what other tools are available, and I think I definitely should mention PIMO. And if you don't, participants don't know PIMO, PIMO is a great company. It's a local UAE company. Please, if you sign up with PIMO afterwards, mention that I advertise them at our webinar. But what PIMO does is they provide bank cards, prepaid bank cards. So if, for example, you are with a certain bank that only gives only one bank card, and you have a team, for example, team of 5, and you have admin, HR, PRO in one that need to go to Tasheal, Amer, and pay for certain services, then you have someone or the same person that that need to subscribe to LinkedIn or Facebook or Google Ads, and they need to have a card for that subscription. So you can issue unlimited number of virtual cards and certain number of physical cards with PIMO. So what they do, they connect with your bank. No, they don't connect. So they create a bank account for you, and you load it with money. Now, what also PIMO does is you can control the spending on the actual card. So if you have a card for office expenses like we are great lovers, users of PIMO. If you use your, for example, we have a card office expenses, so we load it with certain amount every month, and we can control transaction limit of transaction, each transaction no more than, for example, 500 dirhams individually, and in total over months. And also you can now, they also introduced that you can limit to the types of transactions. So for example, government services, petrol, etc., etc. So for example, if you have a driver and you give him or her that card, then you can limit those spending only for petrol stations. So yeah, and you can also process bills in there. So when user of the card spends, uses the card, they use in their app, PIMO app, they take a photo and upload. So then and they get pushed directly to Wafeq and other accounting softwares, and there is no need of that chasing for receipts. It's a great tool, and it helps to manage your cash flow effectively. Another one is so Wafeq and other accounting software, they already have built-in reports, but if you need any other better insight, more better insight or insight into your reports that you give, for example, other users that you don't want to have access to your accounting software, then there is a great tool that is called Sift Analytics. Sift Analytics, as well as Spotlight, there is another software, Spotlight. What they do is they pull the data from Wafeq, for example, and you can create dashboards, graphs, diagrams, beautiful financial reports that then you can present to your, for example, shareholders. We use Sift Analytics, and all of our clients, they love them. They love the reports because it is connected to the accounting software, and they can see their transactions. We can record the video for them to explain any discrepancies, for example.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Lena, for answering this question. Okay, Lena, can you give us best practices for improving cash flow visibility and making informed financial decisions?
Best practice for improving cash flow visibility, of course, would include, as I mentioned before, conducting regular cash flow analysis, cash flow review together with your team, where you can compare first against your budget and second against your previous period. Then you should review your cash flows regularly to see any discrepancies and any discrepancies, any deviations from certain pattern. Also, you should review to identify whether you should whether there are any opportunities to save cost. One of the categories that all business owners should look closely at regularly is software subscriptions. Software subscription is something that we sign up and then we forget, and we only go back to it if there was a change in the bank card, the payment got declined. Correct. Or at the end of the year, when we see the reports, for example, if you need to do an audit and then you see all those reports. We had the case, we had a example from one of our clients who signed up to LinkedIn job posting, and they didn't set a budget, and it went up to several 12,000 to be precise dirhams. So they had a bill from LinkedIn that was just going, because with LinkedIn job posting, you have to be careful. So they were clicking on the job post, and their bill was just accumulating. And they only noticed at it several months later. Yes. So if they were reviewing their cash flow regularly, they would have spotted
Correct.
it right
They would have
away.
noticed that before.
Yes.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lena. Okay, Lena, now we are reaching to our fifth topic in today's webinar. We're gonna talk about preparing for future financial challenges. Lena, how anticipating changes in market conditions and what their impact on cash flow business of the business's cash flow. Sorry.
Yes, it is very important to stay up to date, not
Yes.
only review your data and have your books and accounts up to date, but also you need to be aware of what's happening around you. So kind of that SWOT analysis, right? So
Yeah.
we look at also external, what is impacting our business. And with the UAE, recent huge changes in corporate tax legislation, not introduction of the corporate, and then lots of ministerial and cabinet decisions that followed to clarify certain aspects of it, of course, made a big impact on business environment. So staying up to date. And how do you stay up to date? Attend webinars like this. Thank you, Wafeq, very much for doing this free webinar at no cost, where businesses can learn and just, absorb different aspects, and bit by bit we kind of staying up to date. Another strategy is, and this is what I do, is signing up to newsletters. Local newsletters is very easy to unsubscribe, but it's very difficult to find a good one. So staying up to date, signing up for newsletters is something also that you need to do. We don't have a lot of local newsletters, but we do have, and actually we also do newsletters. So I will be sharing a link at the end of the webinar together with that health checklist, where if participants are willing, they can also sign up. Yeah, like
Yeah.
that, I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lena, and thank you for sharing this document with our audience today. This is for sure would be uh, a very helpful for them. Okay. Lena, moving forward to our next question here and the fifth topic. Adapting financial strategies to remain resilient during economic downturns. Yeah, how can business?
Yeah, so we already discussed that we need to have all our books and accounts up to date. We need to review them regularly. We need to collaborate with our finance team and be
Right.
best friends with them. We
Yeah.
also need to ourselves stay up to date with all the changes in the environment. Then what we need to do is we need to take all of that into consideration, and we need to adapt. So we need to prioritize our essential spending, something that would bring us money. So we always constantly need to think in terms of ROI. So what is our return on that? And in accounting, we have this definition of so what is an asset? Is it an asset to our company? That's something that we are spending money on, or it's a liability. I know there are like so for example, if we are thinking of rebranding, creating a new website, will it add to our future benefits? Will it help us to speed up our sales, increase our revenues? Or at the moment, what we have is going good, but we actually need to focus on such and such and such things. So prioritizing essential space and deferring non-critical investment, or is it actually an investment, or is it just not waste but spending? Think critically about different ways. So we can, we have all these advertisements coming at us, SEO, digital, so all of this. So we need to be kind of think critically whether we
Yes.
actually need it or not. And yes, we need to also, what I also mentioned before, we should have good communication, open communication with our vendors, suppliers, and customers. Because that's the business. We, apart from enjoying business, but also as we saw that accounts receivable, accounts payable can impact our cash flows significantly. Therefore, we should have good relationship, good
Yes.
communication with our customers and suppliers, so that in case there is a certain downfall, we can speak with them and negotiate certain terms and be prepared for the same with our customers.
Correct. Correct. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lena. Okay. Lena, moving forward to, I think this is our last question here in our fifth topic. Lena, how can developing skills and expertise in financial management to ensure long-term success?
Your team has to be
Mm,
highly skilled and has to be motivated. Our people is our ultimate asset.
yes.
We should invest in developing our team, or hire skilled, in this case, accountants and financial professionals. We should motivate them to attend webinars like this. So,
Yeah.
for example, in our team, we are always on the lookout for free webinars, free trainings, and we have a special channel in Slack where we post all trainings. So we post them there, so we make an announcement, and we post it in our team calendar, bespoke accounting calendar that is shared with everyone on the team. So when we open our calendar, we can see, or what is it, for example, on Monday, we can see, or what is it there today. We should have, if you feel like your business doesn't have enough enough information, doesn't have enough expertise in tax or accounting, of course, you should seek professional help.
Sure.
You should either think about outsourcing or hiring in-house someone that is better than you in that field. Think about hiring, for example, if you think that you're okay, your accounting is good, but taxes so think about hiring tax consultant maybe for once a month to have a tax overview session with your team, where they deliver webinar to your team only on, for example, VAT basics, on corporate tax basics. They answer, he or she answers difficult questions. If you have good accounting team, but you think that you don't have enough that expertise in financial management, then think about outsourced financial manager. There is a lot of now fractional CFOs on the market who offer several hours, for example, per month, to help you with your strategic decision based on your financial data that you have already have, or think about consultant to work with you with your accounting software to build the reports that will help you make proper business decisions. Think about courses like ACCA, CMA, corporate tax diploma that is now delivered by Kaplan and PwC, and certified by FTA. Only the one by PwC, not the one by Kaplan, but both are great suppliers. For example, in our team, we have employees who have worked with us for a number of years. We are now helping them, supporting them with their ACCA qualification, because I am myself, I am now FCCA, so I have been with ACCA for quite a while. And I think ACCA is one of the strongest qualifications as of now.
Correct. Thank you so much, Lena, and thank you for your answers and your insightful information here. Now we are moving ahead to the Q&A part, where I'm going to be review the questions from our attendees. Okay, so we will start. Okay, Lena, we have a question from one of the attendees. He's asking, will corporate tax affect the future cash flow for SMEs?
A very good question, Rashid. Thank you so much. Depends. If your business during your financial period, which can be by default the calendar year, but maybe not depend, you should check it in your tax certificate for corporate tax. If your revenue is less than 3 million dirhams, then you can opt for small business relief that is available now until end of 2026. Then if you decide to opt for it, then your corporate tax is zero, meaning that you don't have to pay any tax. So for such businesses, there won't be any impact on cash flow, only the requirement to fulfill your obligation by submitting the return during 9 months after the end of your financial period. And now in certain cases, FTA asked for financial statements also along with your corporate tax return.
Yes, thank you so much, Lena, for answering this question. Okay, Lena, we have another question from John. He's asking for VAT returns in real estate industry. Is it better to separate the VAT amount from the sales revenue when we are receiving payments from from customers, ensuring enough cash is available to pay the VAT liability at the filing date, or should we include the VAT in the overall cash flow?
Thank you, John, very much. I think that John is referring to cash flow. Cash should be included in overall cash flow. If we are talking about cash flow report, then it depends. If it's usually it is included, but you can separate it. So and you should put it separately, depending on the volume. If the volume is big, so maybe it is better to separate it and put it like as I mentioned before, to a separate cash reserve or savings account, so that you definitely can meet your VAT obligations. And that is already, when it's something amount is in front of you and it's clearly visible, then it's easier to prepare for it when time comes to pay. And with VAT, it's quite strict. So you have to file and pay by the same date, 28th, unless there is a public holiday, then it gets moved to the next working day. And then there is a penalty for late payment.
Correct. Thank you so much, Lena, for answering this question. Lena, we have another question from Rashid. What would be the best steps and strategies to prepare cash flow forecast in case of a new businesses setup? I mean, when we don't have historical data of the businesses.
Yes, when I talked about cash flow forecast, I actually thought about that I didn't mention when we have a new business, when we're just starting out. When you're just starting out, then you have that everything but in your head, because without the numbers, there is not possible to start a business. You already have something in your head, or maybe in Excel. The best, of course, option. The best option is Excel. You don't have any data, so you open up your blank Excel and you first line is sales. What are you going to do for your sales? And you start thinking of the year, and again breaking down into quarters and then months, and then you move down, down, down. So you can Google for financial report template or profit and loss template. Have a look at that, because cash flow is similar to your profit and loss. Yes, so you can see what types of expenses there are for any business. Think about them, because have a look and think about any others that we have here, for example, in the UE, like gratuity again. And yes, go by thinking about your expenses, and this is how you will have your forecast.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Lena, for your answer. Okay. Lena, we have another question. Can we prepare a cash flow forecast and financial budget on Wafeq and compare that budget with actual results every month, once a month, and accounts are closed? Um, I would like to answer this question, if possible.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Lena. Yes, you can prepare a cash flow forecast at Wafeq. To learn more about this, I'm going to let our support team to share our weekly webinar links here with you. And you can join us there and ask your questions, and we will be showing this there for you in our weekly sessions for how to learn Wafeq. Thank you. Okay. Um, okay, Lena, we have also we have another question related about how to record the payment in Wafiq and so on. So yeah, I would like also to let you know that we will be sharing our weekly webinar link, registration link. You can register, and we will be answering your questions there for sure. And we also will gonna be explaining Wafeq to you more there. Okay, we have also, Lena, another question. I connected my Wio Bank ID, like I would like to know how to record payment I received.
It's
Um,
quite easy, but yes, I think it's again to technical team. First of all, you need to check whether you connected it correctly, because sometimes we think that it's connected, but it's not. And then there should be just a button, pay, and this is how we do it. But I think if you experience issues, maybe it's better that your technical team of Wafeq gets connects with you and looks into what is there that prevents you from
e-
making the payments from or recording the payments. Yeah.
exactly. Thank you so much, Lena. Okay, we have also another question. Which other banks we can integrate in Wafeq other than Wio for auto feed and payment processing from Wafeq? In UAE, we have Wio, and we have also, if I'm not mistaken, HSBC. And
Huh?
also, yeah, and also we will confirm that for you as well in our weekly webinars. And also feel free to reach out our support team for any questions or if you need any assist as well. Um, I my team will be sharing, our Wafeq team will be sharing those links in chat here as well. And yeah, thank you so much, Lena, for your answers here in the Q&A part.
I think
And
I need to share that
share,
file
yeah,
so I'm just now sending it to the chat, but I think that I can only send it to host and panelists. So have a look how we can forward it to the rest of the participants.
yeah.
So that is the. Mhm.
Thank you so much, Lena. I think yeah, everyone uh, can download it from the chat.
No, I think it is sent only to hosts and panelists. Maybe we can ask
Okay.
someone whether it
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
actually sent, because I don't have that option, but I'm sure you can
Yeah. Let
You
me
can have a
check.
look and forward it to everyone.
So, yeah, I'm moving it to everyone now. Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Wafeq, Customer Success. Can you please also share the link Lena have shared it with us to everyone, please? And we are sharing the registration link for our weekly webinars and training sessions for Wafeq. Yeah, and please feel free to reach out our support team as well anytime. And again, thank you so much, Lena, for being with us today and for accepting our invite for today's webinar. Thank you.
Great. Thank you and pleasure. And thank you for having me. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you.